We call him Baba Yaga.
The boogeyman?
Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He was the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman.
You've heard the name, Baba Yaga. Not a ghost, not a rumor, a man, etched in blood and whispered in fear. They say he's the one you send to kill the boogeyman. But what if the story is wrong? What if the myth doesn't match the man? In Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga isn't a man with a gun. She's older than fear itself. A forest witch with iron teeth and a hunger for souls. She lives in a hut that walks on chicken legs, sweeping through the woods, judging the living and guiding the dead. She's not a contract killer. She's a force of nature. But John Wick, he becomes her metaphor, not because of who he is, but because of what he does, what he represents in the world beneath ours, the underworld where currency is blood and favors are binding. Fear becomes folklore, and John Wick isn't just a man anymore. He's death with a headshot, a fairy tale with a kill count. Stories bend. They reshape themselves to fit the fear they serve. In this world, John Wick is no longer human. He's the ending. Wick wasn't born a monster. He earned the reputation. Years of blood, training, silence. But it wasn't until he walked away that the myth really took form. Love gave him a way out, but the grief dragged him back in. When his wife died, he was wounded, but still human. It was the dog, the final gift from her, that kept him tethered to hope. And when that was stolen from him, when the last thread of peace was cut, the mask cracked. What came back wasn't a grieving husband. It was something colder, something sharper. He didn't scream. He didn't threaten. He executed. And the legend began writing itself. He didn't call himself Baba Yaga. They did. Because when you can't understand someone's pain, you turn it into a story. You mythologize the rage. John doesn't have to raise his voice. He doesn't have to shout or gloat. His name does the screaming for him. His reputation is the sharpest blade he carries. And the world he walks, fear is the weapon. It kills before he even shows up. Men hear his name. They start digging their own graves. In the Red Circle, in Casablanca, even on sacred ground, the myth does half the work. And the deeper he goes into the world he once tried to escape, the more he disappears. The suit, the silence, the precision, they're not style, they're armor. Because John Wick isn't just executing people. He's executing the part of himself that used to feel. He's becoming the thing that he was trying to run from. A ghost in a tailored black. A weapon disguised as a man. A story soaked in blood. The thing about legends is, they don't die. They evolve. In Ballerina, we meet Rooney, a dancer turned assassin, shaped by the world John Wick left behind. She doesn't just inherit his tools. She inherits the burden, the weight of being the next story they whisper about in the dark. Because when the world knows your name before you strike, you're not just a person anymore. You're a curse, a symbol, a legacy. And that's the true danger of a myth like John Wick. It spreads, it becomes prophecy, and every legend, every ghost, begins with a single loss. John Wick isn't a man. He's a myth, built on grief, shaped by vengeance, feared by those who once trained him. He's what happens when love is lost, when justice fails, and when the only language left is violence. He's not the boogeyman. He's the one you send to kill the boogeyman.